Hello, welcome back. As promised, we have Thibault to finish our APBA Master game. And so before we jump into that, I had a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Um, Number one, Matt Rockwood in the comments had asked, he said that some of the results from the basic game are different in the master game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was troubling him. And he
Yes.
wanted your opinion as to why that is, or any thoughts on that.
You know what they do factor in. Um, Thing is, App has changed their boards a lot too. You have to think about that. They've changed their play results, not a lot, but here and there, maybe a couple sections. They had their boards from like 50 to 60, then another set of boards like 60 to 70 or whatever, and then they came out the big 87 boards everybody knows about, those big cardboard boards.
Mhm.
And they brought in like the 90s boards. Anyway, so over that time, the master game that came out in '76 kind of stayed the same, and then that kind of changed a little bit. So that maybe only changed like twice,
Mhm.
whereas the basic board changed a bunch of times. So it really depends on like the boards you have, and
So that's really not the only changes they've made. They've
yeah,
from the basic to the master. The master's changed, and the basic itself has made some minor
yeah,
changes through the years.
yes, yeah, that's correct. The masters changed maybe slightly, like maybe like one or two maybe changes. When they came out with the K and R ratings, they had to change. They changed some play results
Mhm.
on it, so it depends on what basic game you're playing, what master game you're playing.
Okay.
But it's still the same. I mean, you're still looking at like a 24 is like a grounder to short. Either going back like 60 years. It's still the same
So
stuff. So
most of them are pretty standard
yeah,
still,
yeah,
but
correct.
yeah,
Yeah,
he had mentioned that, and I told him that I'd ask you.
yeah.
Um,
It's could be just based on the boards he has, what year he has and everything. So
okay. Um, uh, Ratings. You played a lot of APBA Master.
yeah,
And a big part of any baseball game is the subjective ratings, things
right,
like the fielding ranging, run rating, things like that.
right.
What are your thoughts on APBA's ability to produce those?
Yeah, the run rate, just touch on the run rating. That's more of like it's not really it's a very subjective. It is a very subjective rating. They're trying to get the runs right, which Apple is always good at. That's kind of like their focus to kind of get the
Mhm,
standings right.
mhm.
Is they're trying to get the runs correct. They're trying to build runs off the card, so there is some subjectivity there. Um, the fielding rating, again, subjective. I mean, there may be some metrics I'm not aware of that they're using for that, but I mean, it's a lot of it's like reputation. One thing I know they did a lot of was they would look back at like if guys they would look at the play by plays and see if guys were like put in as like in defensive subs.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's fair
they would
assessment.
look at that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
would say, well, the manager obviously thought this guy was better than this guy, in a defensive sub situation. So maybe he got a higher rating, for example. So you might see some things like that. I know error is a big thing comes into it. So if you look at like just straight fielding percentage, a
yeah.
lot of
I mean, error rating, that's typically pretty scientific,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the range rating, that's obviously or the arm rating.
right,
Did he have, did they not run on him because he was good,
right, right.
or did he just not get the opportunity, because again, it
Yeah,
gets there's a lot of variables there. So I guess my question is, a lot of guys when they're playing these games, there'll be ratings that kind of they scratch their head like, oh,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
I don't get that. So you don't have a lot of that when you're playing the game.
Mm,
It's not. It's like you're most of the ratings. You're like, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, yeah, you can. Some of them you scratch your head. He's definitely like some of these like weak fielding infielders, like that guy wasn't that bad. So
Okay.
for example, like I was thinking, I'm just thinking back like the 1997, like Jim Leyritz, cause like he had I was like, this guy wasn't that good of a catcher, but
Mhm.
he had like a throw +5, which is like a Gary Carter and Carlton Fisk-esque, like
Yeah.
how the heck? He had limited time that year, but I looked it up on Baseball Reference like we all do,
Mhm.
and sure shooting, Jim Leyritz for some reason had a really high caught stealing percentage that year. Ah, but that's what they're doing. It is subjective, but they did build that into the rating. So
Yeah, so they're trying to replicate the results.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Right.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what
gonna
we're trying to
ask if
do.
he you in the last video you'd mentioned sometimes they tweak to get standings right. I was gonna ask if he was on a pennant winning team,
No,
maybe.
he was like the crummy Angels team, I think, that year.
Okay, so it wasn't that then. Okay.
I think the Seaver, though, like we were talking about, this Cincinnati Reds Tom Seaver got a little bit of a home cooking with that 14.
Yeah.
So, but hey, you know what? That's they want the standings right. That's what their goal is. So
Yeah, no, that's fine.
yeah, yeah, it's APBA is really accurate. I mean, obviously, I put some results on a Delphi forum. You know, it is variance. There's some sets that are that weren't made real well in APBA's history. For example, like I just did an 87 replay,
Mhm.
and I did every game AL NL, and it took years. Took about like 6 years to do,
Mm,
and the card set was not an accurate card set. It was
mm,
the offense was just way overblown. The Mariners scored something like 1,000 runs. The
mm.
Tigers scored like 1,200 runs, and it was
Wow.
just it was crazy. It was this offense out the wazoo. It seems like APBA, that was the year like the rabbit ball.
Okay.
If you remember 87,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I remember.
it seemed that the technology or their ratings at the time or what how they knew how to make cars, they couldn't handle it. Like they couldn't they just overcooked the set basically, and it's inaccurate. Now, since they started the new formulas in about early 90s, the card set's been extremely accurate since then.
Yeah, I
Some of
know
the lot,
when I
yeah. Oh,
when
go
I
ahead.
was no, you're fine. When I was looking into buying the game, I was, asking around Delphi, and for some reason, 30 and 34 that kept popping up. You don't want that season, so I
Right, right.
ended up getting 46, and they said that that was a newer,
Yeah,
newer
yeah.
update. That would be pretty good. So,
Yeah, you're right about 30 because of the D pitcher. You know, it's with a high offense season like 30.
mhm,
Those D pitchers just get annihilated because there's nothing. And that's one of the drawbacks I would say to Apple is the D pitchers are maybe too bad, and then the A pitchers are maybe too good. So that's one nice thing with the master game comes in. It kind of
it
tones
kind of
down.
levels it off.
Yeah,
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 tones them down a little bit. So
I can see that. Do you have APBA, the video
the
game, the computer
BBW,
game, BBW?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can you see the card image on that, or is it
yeah.
is
You
it
can,
just
yeah.
is it just a baseball game, or is it a representation of the computer or of the
Thing,
cards and dice, I mean?
thing with BBW is that it's a very old game. It's a '90s game. You know, Ernie
Mhm,
Harwell. That's the charm. The charm of BBW is just getting that Ernie Harwell play-by-play.
right.
And it's at your discretion. You know, I want to play this team versus this team, and Ernie Harwell is going to call it.
Yeah,
That's the charm of BBW. It is a direct port of the master game, which is nice. So if you want to kind
okay,
of learn the master game, you're going to see a lot of those decisions, like do I want to go first or third and challenge this guy's arm? And the drawback to BBW, you don't see the dice rolls, so it's almost like a closed engine. So you don't see
okay,
what's going on. However, they did in about 2015 start adding the card image to the game. So you could click on the guy's name and you'll see his APA card come up. It's just you don't there's nothing you can't see what he rolled
okay, so it
to,
doesn't tell you what result, you can just see the card.
right, right.
Okay,
What I've done with that, and this is just for fun I did, I took my master game out because I know it's a port of the master game, and I plugged in BBW, and I looked at the results, and I kinda guesstimated for my own I just wrote the dice roll, what I would just look at the boards, what it
mhm,
was, 'cause it'll equate to the boards.
okay,
They do have some built-in variance on the pitcher grade, and it's kind of like a floating thing. So, like, if someone's like Seaver's a grade 14, it kind of floats his grade throughout the game, maybe like a few points. So it's all behind the scenes, and you don't see it. So it's not like a hard direct port of the master game,
okay,
but you will see it's very close. You get a lot of stats. You get to see the you got standings, you got the schedules in there, and a lot of
Does it
seasons are available.
does it autoplay?
It auto plays, which is really nice. You can auto sim a whole season, probably like 20 minutes, half hour.
Don't they
Um,
have some managers too?
Micromanagers too. So they have a bunch of different micromanagers. And if you want to if you're really into tech, computing games, you could program your own micromanagers. Like if you want to do like a 2022 type manager where he's pulling pitchers at their 4 innings and stuff, you could do that.
But they have some
Um,
managers, like, I mean, it seemed like they were even, like, named after real managers. Did I see
it
that?
Yeah, it's kind of like the almost baseball, classic baseball names. They're not real managers, but it's not like
Okay,
one's guy Blackie Dugan, other guy's Johnny McCoy. They like make up these kind of
okay.
baseballish names.
And they're more for time periods, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
and you,
like 50s baseball and then dead ball. Is that are they kind of wired like
yeah,
that?
yeah. There's something in the FAQ. It'll tell you the tendencies of all those managers and like what they kind of tend to do. They yank the starter early.
Okay,
There's one manager in there I like to play is he's Johnny Pepper.
okay.
This guy is he's the manager. He plays to win at all costs. He will s- pinch hit like like pinch steal or like pinch run, pinch hit, bring every reliever in he can to beat your to
I
beat
got
you, and it's
got
fun trying to
I
beat
got
him.
a really bad joke on that one. Like Pete Rose betting on one of his
Yeah,
when he
yeah,
was
yeah,
managing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I love Pete, and I think I don't have no problem with him in the Hall of Fame. But that was what came to my warped mind is like, yeah, like Pete needing to win a game he bet on.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
fun. It's a thing. It's not you. It can be a click fest. So if you have a
Yeah,
tendency when you fire up like computer games and they're like I'm just like clicking buttons here. Like I'm not having fun. Which can you kind of like five batters go by and you don't even know what happened because you're
yeah.
just like clicking buttons.
Yeah, that'd be not being able to input your own dice roll. I love games that do
Right.
that, and being able to see, like on replay, which is most of us think is the king of computer
Yeah. Yeah.
baseball cards and dice games. It actually will highlight on the cards, which what you got. You know,
Right. Right.
so I
It
mean, it's
does.
really bringing in the cards and dice into the PC, and then get all the bells and whistles, and like I said, the autos, all that. So you're not able to input results into that either.
No. No.
So it
No
just
inputting
basically just
results.
it just plays. Okay.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
just
There's a
plays.
lot of other options for that, but I was just
Yeah.
I tried to look on YouTube, and there's just not a lot of videos about the APBA
Yeah. Yeah.
game,
Yeah, it's a
computer
lot of
game.
draft leagues out there for that. There's a lot of like guys with leagues in that thing where they'll there's not a lot of videos and like replayers. It's more of like a draft league type tool. But like there's guys replay, I should say. And there's guys that do replays on BBW and post it. It just you kind of gotta it's fun listening to Harwell. That's like I say. It's you
Yeah.
fire that up
Yeah, I
and
think
it's a
Gilles
close game.
internally did a game,
Yeah.
and that is really cool. I don't know if you remember, it was either Tony La Russa or, maybe Old Time Baseball, but you had 3 that you could choose from.
Yeah.
Harwell was one, um, the guy from, This Week in Baseball,
Mel
Mel Allen
Allen.
was
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and that was really cool. I know I was playing a game of that once, and it was like in the dead of winter, and my wife was talking to her mom, and she goes, Is Steve listening to a baseball game?" 'Cause at least through the phone, it sounded real enough, but that was a really cool, that you could have, and I can't remember who the 3rd guy was, maybe Joe Buck, maybe, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
it was really cool, but
Yeah,
yeah,
what game
so
was that? What game was that
it was
again?
either Tony La Russa,
Yeah.
or the people who did, I think it was Stormfront Studios,
Mhm.
they also did it was called Old Time Baseball, and it was
Uh,
made just for that. It may have been that one.
I think I've seen a YouTube video on that. I've seen someone
Mhm.
play that on YouTube. It looked really like a 90s-ish type, video, but it had the
Yeah,
announcing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but the announcing was the cool thing,
Yeah.
'cause again, and it glitched a little bit, and,
Oh,
the
yeah.
inflection wasn't always right, but it was still kinda cool.
Yeah, I played a lot of Tony La Russa myself in my day. It's, at the Sega Genesis, the Tony La Russa.
Yeah, I had mine on PC. Matter of fact, the very first computer I ever bought was for the sole purpose of playing micro league baseball.
Uh, That's how I
So,
got Sega Genesis, actually.
was it? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
That was
it's
it.
like,
I got
man,
that game, and that was it. That's, like, the only game I bought for it. So
yeah, I mean, that was the only reason I bought that computer is, like, because I saw this a ad somewhere for micro league baseball, and it's like, "Man, I gotta have that," and I didn't
yeah.
have a computer, so I picked up one to play that, so and here we are.
Yep. Yep.
Alright,
That was the granddaddy, so
so did you, the pitcher fatigue, did you wanna kinda talk about that once we get to it?
yeah, yeah, let's see where we're at.
Okay. Well, we're in the top of the 4th.
Okay, and I
Uh,
think I'm the visiting team on
you
this.
are. You're the visiting team, and the Reds are up, 3 to nothing. We had, Knight hit a 2-run homer, followed by Concepcion with a solo shot.
Mhm.
Now, I did pick up that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got the
Mm,
ballpark effects.
yeah, so you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, most definitely. So,
Mm,
these kinda
let's see if I
drive
can make that.
just to kinda show you how to walk you through, like, for this particular game, what we would do, and that's cool that you got that, RG. Those I have a video on my YouTube about, like, using those,
Mhm.
because it can really it's a really kind of, when you're setting it up, you're like, "What are they trying to do here?" Yeah, it's kind of I don't know if you looked at it yourself, like the
A
roll
little
one.
bit to enough
Yeah.
enough to wait for you.
Yeah. I mean, my story about that was I was playing a friend of mine were playing a 2001 project back into, like, 2002, after with the new set, and,
Mhm.
he bought those when they first came out, and him and I sat there one night before our game, and we were trying to, like, "I can't figure this out, you read it." And as, "I can't figure it out, you read it again." "I can't figure it out, you read it." We finally, after, like, an hour, we figured, "Okay, this I kinda think this is what they're doing," but I've used these in a few replays for every game, so,
Yeah, well,
what
let me
what
get
they are,
caught up
they're
here.
essentially, they're not really, base hit effects. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna affect home runs. It's really home run effects for that
Okay,
stadium.
okay.
So first thing you do is you find, the home team on the left side there,
So Cincinnati,
okay? And then you look over to that first, column of
mhm.
numbers there, which is,
Team
the home.
team home factor.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's kinda like soccer, where soccer, they always put the home team first and everything.
okay.
It's kinda wanna think you're gonna figure out the home team's, park factor first, so,
It says
it's
1 to 5 equals 2.
okay, so that means, if you roll 1 to 5, you're just gonna roll 1d6, and if you roll 1 to 5, then Cincinnati's, home run factor for that game is gonna be, 2, plus 2.
Okay,
And
and
you
then
just
if I
write
get a
that down somewhere.
6, it's a 3.
Yeah, so then if you roll 6, it's a 3. They call that environmental effects, so I guess if, just to kind of provide some variance in the
Now you
park
also have
effects.
the road team, so is this kinda giving you also a little bit of a home field advantage
Not necessarily. It's really
based on what
like
happened?
yeah, like how did the road teams how well did they hit home runs in that park? And then
Okay,
also factors in that road teams, how well did they hit home runs on the road?
alright.
So if I combine, so let's roll one die,
Oh,
see what you get. All right,
wait
you
a
got the
second.
+3.
Yeah, so the Reds
Higher
are
the better. So higher the better for the home team. So you got a +3 factor. And
I'll write this down here in the book. Home
yeah.
3. Okay, and now for the visitors or the
Yes.
team road, it's 1 is -3, 2 to 6 is -2.
Yeah, so actually what you're gonna do first is you're gonna go to the third column. So you take that
Or
under
visitor.
Cincinnati. Yeah, under what is that there? I can't really read that.
What are
Under
we
the
looking
third
for?
column.
It's 1 to 2 is -3, 3 to 6 is -2.
Okay, so we're gonna keep that same 6 roll and we're gonna
Okay,
use that -2 then. So you see that 6 between 3 and 6.
okay. So the
So
visitors
uh
are -2.
there one more factor we gotta add into that. So
Okay,
what we're gonna then do is use that same 6 now go to Montreal on the
okay.
east, on the
Montreal
middle
Mets.
column,
Okay,
and then see where that 6 falls in there.
2.
Okay, so it's a -2, then a +2, so that's 0.
Okay.
So Montreal is a 0, and then Cincinnati's that +3. So for this game, it's +3 for Cincinnati and Montreal's 0.
Now when you say +3, what are we adding that to again?
Well, what's going to come up is if you get one of your power guys in a certain situation. So I'm looking at your guys.
Like
Um,
Foster, for example?
Yeah, so, like, anyone that has a 1 at 66, and, Foster, he's gonna have 2 chances, I'll show you this, but let's just find a guy that has, like, just a 1 at 66, like
Bench?
Bench,
Okay,
Dreesen, Bench or Dreesen, for example.
okay.
So, if Bench or Dreesen hit, like, that basic 34, 31 fly to center,
Mhm.
that's gonna be a possible, like, clear the fence over and for a home run. So they're going to have an extra roll to see if they could turn that fly out the center and do a home run. And where the +3 comes in, if you look at that chart that came with those rules, There's like a little chart or something, like on maybe on the back of that page there. Yeah.
Um,
So like you just count down three. See where it says that the middle column on the left side there. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left side.
this?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
go down to where Cincinnati's 3 is. So see it says 3.
Yeah.
And you look to the left, that's the dice roll. So 13 or less. So if Bencher Dreesen hit that 34, 31, they get another roll. And if they roll 11, 12, or 13, it's gonna be a home run.
Okay. And
So
so that only applies on the 66 one,
that's just one situation. Now, there's another situation. Now, if you get Foster, like Foster's a double one power,
right?
so he's going to have two possible situations to hit it out. He's going to be, if it's any pull result. So if he rolls like a 14-30, which is like a pulled fly out to left field,
Right.
or if he rolls a 54-32, which is like a pull over to the right field,
Yeah.
or for him, it would be like an opposite field, deep to right field.
Right.
He hits any of those two results, then he's going to get a chance to try to roll an 11, 12, or 13. So he has like two chances because he has more power.
Okay.
Now the guys with the zeros, like say like Ray Knight
Yeah.
and Geronimo, as long as they have a one at least in their second column
Yeah.
and it's nobody out, they have a roll too. So if there's zero, only if there's nobody out.
Okay.
So it'll come up as I'll know like as it goes along. I just
Yeah. Yeah.
Cincinnati. I'll do the red alert when it
Yeah.
comes up. So
Okay. So do I need to keep this anymore, or is that what we
you can put. We know it's 13, so that's a you can put that aside. Yeah, you can
okay.
put them all aside there. Yeah. So we know Cincinnati's +3, Montreal's 0,
Okay.
and obviously Montreal has no adjustment, so they're not going to hit any extra home runs. They're not going to have anything taken away. Like I said, fun thing about those effects is you're going to see like the real like Homer happy parks, like you're going to see for that year.
Probably
It's gonna have a lot
like
more.
Atlanta, the launching pad.
Yeah, the launching pad, like a Coors Field's pretty fun too. The Coors Field
Yeah.
has like some +16. I mean, it can get pretty crazy. So that was
Okay.
like one thing with that '87 replay I was telling you about. I was using those park effects,
Mhm.
and Baltimore was terrible, and their pitching staff had a lot of those M's guys, the home run, and they had a really bad like homer allowance record. So it
Mm.
was like gas and matches down there in Baltimore. So
Okay. Well, that's all I had. Um, so we'll get to the fatigue when we get there.
yeah, yeah. Well, one thing we'll talk about for fatigues, just real quick, just so everybody knows. So both these guys look like on the card they're Q2.
Okay.
So what
Yeah.
that's telling me right away is both of these pitchers will pitch 7 innings, full 7 innings, and they won't start getting fatigued till the eighth.
Okay.
So obviously this is 79. Like this is like
Right.
these
Yeah.
guys are
It's
workhorses.
way it's
Yeah,
supposed to.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
All right. So you got Andre Dawson up,
Yep,
and we got our chart laid out the way that we should. We'll go to bases empty.
yeah,
All right. Andre Dawson with a 43, and that's a 29. The 29 is the pitcher.
yep.
Seaver is a 2. So we will
Yeah, that
reroll
was one
for
of those
him, right?
results that's the same across the board, so that's another
Oh,
one you
yeah,
can
that's always a
re-roll.
good thing
Yeah,
to look. Yep, you're
yep,
right.
yep,
1 to 3, and X would be strikeout, and they both are Ys. All
yeah.
right. So that is 29 is just a ground out across the board. Yep. So 1
Yeah,
to
that's like
3.
the first thing I'll look at, like, when
Right.
I'll look at the results, like, is there any variance in there? And if there is any slightest variance, okay, I have to do that defense roll now.
Yep. All right. So that's it for Dawson. We're still on the bases empty chart. That brings up Tony Perez. Doggy, I think they called him.
Yep,
54 is a 32. A 32 is right field. K's a strikeout, and that's fly out across the board.
yep.
So 2 away.
So you're letting Seaver get in a groove here now.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say,
know,
he's pitching a good one.
his knees scraping on the ground and everything.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him and the top of his shoe,
Yeah.
it would just about wear out
Oh, yeah.
where he's dragging that back foot. 35 is a 14, that should be a walk, right?
Yeah. Yeah, knows double Z for, Seaver, so that's a base on balls. Batter takes first.
14, 14. Where's the 14 at? Oh, there it
It's a
is.
top area.
Yeah. Yep, no Z, so that's a walk for Carter.
So that's 2 outs now. So Carter, he's an F24 Steeler. So are you gonna now? So remember, you have to decide to hold him or not.
So let me look at the F here. So
He's kind of like
24.
bench. Yeah, they're both as F guys. Yeah.
So 24 is that's a decent number, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it depends on the yeah. Johnny Bench. What is his arm here? He's a +3, so he would. It's almost they're almost bringing him down to like 50-50 if he did go.
Now, once again, these letters only apply if he's being held on, right? So if
Yeah.
he's
Right.
not, he's free to
Right.
go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, we'll hold him on.
Okay, so that means Carter's froze, so he can't steal at all because he doesn't meet those F requirements,
Right.
with the
Yep.
7th inning or later.
Yep.
I was thinking of hit and run in here, but typically that's not good baseball judgment. Hit and run 2 outs. I guess it's done, but we'll just swing away.
Okay. All right. So Ellis Valentine. So we need our get to runner on first.
You don't want to get thrown on the bases now, like 3 runs of the Reds. I'm right down three to Seaver.
52 for Valentine is a 27. So a third base out at first, safe at first on a fielder's choice, or a double play. So with there being 2 outs, then that probably doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it depends if you like to score it. You could put it if you prefer to have the exact fielding, you could roll, and
Which
if
I
you roll fielding
would,
3, yeah,
but if you're trying to save time with it
yeah,
being he's out either way, but
yeah,
yeah, I'll go ahead and roll if you don't care.
yeah. I love have fun.
So the third baseman was Knight. Knight's a 4. 32 with a 4 is a 2. So I believe that
Hmm.
was a fielder's choice, wasn't it?
Yep. So that'd be a 5-4. Yeah, you can see Knight doing that. Maybe the better
Yeah.
play the second, to get Carter. He's not real fast, so
Yep. So 5-4, out number 3. And that'll do it for the Expos in the fourth.
yeah.
All right. Base is empty again. So now we've got Johnny Bench up. He walked and scored on Knight's home run.
Hmm.
I'm shaking the shaker and there's no dice in there. That's not, man, look at that. 55, that's an 8. Let's see, what was, Rogers was a
12.
12, and Bench is a -5 versus righty, so he's not great against righty, so that would make him a 17, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
And a 17 to an 8, that it would, yeah, a 12 hit would have stayed a hit, but as
Yep.
moving up to 17 makes it a 30, which is a
Yep.
fly out to left, right?
That's it. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. I'm getting the hang of this,
Yeah, I was gonna
Thibault.
say you're getting you're getting good at this, RG.
All right. So Bench flies out to left. Thanks to see that's really cool there. So that's kind of stuff I love,
Oh
because
yeah.
again, if he'd have been good against righties or at least even neutral,
Yeah.
that would have been a base hit.
Yep.
So cool.
Yep. I like on that result too. Like, let's say Rogers was like a grade D pitcher, like a 3
Mhm.
or something. He had grade D righty. He'd be a grade C righty almost against Bench, because Bench
Right.
doesn't hit righties well.
Right. Yep. All right. So Danny Dreesen, he grounded out to short in his last effort. 62. That's a 32. And that's a fly out to right across the board.
Yep. You could do I guess if you want to determine between flyouts and lineouts, you can too, if you wanted to.
Yeah, that one I probably would just, yeah, because at the middle's a line out, but
Yeah. Like if I mean, if definitely if that's interests you, sure.
yeah, that one would be a maybe
Yeah.
if I was playing by myself.
Yeah.
The other one definitely, I need to know if it was a fielder's choice
Yeah,
or if he
exactly.
went to first.
Yeah, it's for the visualization, that's
Yeah,
like part of the immersion, the visualization of the whole thing, sure.
yeah, I mean, that the whole all this is, a big part of this is the imagination, and
Yes.
so when you get little things like that can aid in your imagination,
Right.
it actually, at least for me anyway, it definitely adds to the experience. All right, Ray Knight, everybody's favorite third baseman, 56, 34, and that's a Y, so that's going to be a strikeout because they're
You
both
got it.
Ys.
Yeah, Steve Rogers got him with the Y.
Yep, got his revenge, but
Yeah.
is it too late?
Yeah, oh, yeah, he put a little extra zip on that fastball.
Yeah,
He was a little bit angry.
you ain't going to do that again, Mr. Knight. All right, top of the fifth, base is empty. You've got the bottom third due up. Larry Parrish, who's very good for hitting
Ah,
that well in the lineup.
I
I
know.
don't I don't know why. Again, I went with Strat or not Strat with APBA's, their suggested lineup
Yeah.
that you told me to look for on their page, and they had him batting seventh. It's like, man, but to their defense, there's some pretty impressive hitters in this lineup. So
There are, and also these cards were after the fact too, so the
that's true.
manager may not maybe they used that lineup for the most part of the first part of the year, and
Right.
maybe he wasn't that good, maybe he turned it on or something too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there are some odd things I found.
Overperformed as a seventh hitter.
Yeah.
All right, he struck out his last at bat. Yep. Let's re-roll that one because it was crooked. All right, 24. That's a whiff.
Yep. It's 13 strikeout.
Again. All right. Rodney Scott, 25. That's a 10.
Yeah, 10's always an interesting result here because you can get
Yeah,
some
that one's
extra outs on there.
all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so 10, what do we got there?
so he's a 14. Scott is a -4, so that would make him an 18.
Mhm.
18 on a 10 is no change,
Right.
oddly enough.
Yep,
And so that's a single to center.
that's right.
All right,
That
now we
10
got
will
some.
get that, you see that 15, 16, 17. You'll see that a lot where those 10s will get taken away by that 15,
Yeah,
16, 17.
yeah. Again, right, it's like 18 and 19 are, not taken away, but like you said, 17, 16, and 15 are.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting what's going on there.
yeah.
All right, got Steve Rogers up with Scott on first. Scott run his stolen base is C30.
Oh, he's out. Did he make an out though, Steve or Rodney Scott?
No,
Oh,
he's
no, he did. Yeah, he's single. What am I thinking?
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
single
his
to center.
-4 made Seaver an 18, and the 18, the 10 stayed blank.
Okay,
So
now
single
Rodney
to center.
Scott is speed demon here. So
Yeah,
I'm
he's fast.
looking at steal here, but I'm looking at the chart and it's not a close game because it's still a two-run game, so I can't
Okay. Let's see. Only when behind by 1 run, tied or ahead by 1 run, or 2 runs after the sixth inning. When, yeah. So I'm
uh,
holding him, of course.
yeah,
So
you could hold him and holding him just freezes him. Now, that's why I kind of some guys don't like that steal allowance chart because they don't like well, Rodney Scott, he's a speed demon. Why can't I send him?
Mhm.
Why am I restricted here? I kind of like it because A, it controls you from going crazy with like getting like 200 steals in a season because that
Mhm.
30 is really high
Right.
for success. And then on top of that, if you're baseball guys like me and you, RG, you're thinking, all right, the Expos are down. They're down 2 runs, right? Or it's three
Right.
one. Roddy Scott's probably the coach is probably saying we're not taking too many chances here, on the
Right.
bases because we want the pitcher to get the batter out here. So
Yeah, his run's not terribly important if you don't tack
right,
on 2 more with it.
yeah,
So, yeah, no, I'm with you. I probably, but you got the pitcher coming up, which
yeah,
is a big part of baseball that I
yeah.
love.
Yeah, me too. And obviously, yeah, you don't want to get caught stealing with the other pitcher. How many outs are there?
There's 1 out.
1 out. So okay, yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
do you
I like
sacrifice
that.
here? I mean, matter of fact, probably with the pitcher being up, I personally might be more likely to try to steal. I
Yeah,
if it was allowed, because then if he makes an out, then Seaver or, Rogers makes the 3rd out, and then you
yeah.
start at top of the lineup next inning, but
Right, right. That's a good call. I actually you mentioned something. I'm actually going to try that with Rogers. I'm going to go for because his offensive card isn't too good. He's turning Seaver into a 22 pitcher, so I'm just going to sacrifice
okay.
with 1 out here.
So we got bait runners on first, so
Mhm.
you still roll as normal, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So that's a 26. That's a 27, a 27, and we are got a sacrifice. So out at first, 2 strikes on batter, 2 strikes on batter. So we need to check the third baseman, don't we?
no, actually, with that one, you just see where it says sack, like it's like in bold there.
Oh, they
So,
all. Yeah, I looked at hit and run. So
oh, okay, yeah, we're sacrificing. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's the
so
same
there's 2
across the board.
2 strikes across the board. Yep.
Yeah, so Rogers is like missed 2 bunts here, and this is I'm gonna still try to bunt. I don't care.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there you
that might
go.
be good. Yeah, 7.
Okay.
So 7 with a sacrifice is first to second. And the little cross is that means it's a sacrifice, right?
Yeah, the thing is also though with the set when the sacrifice hit and run, you still have to check that Seaver versus Rogers difference. So like he's a +8 or -8.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's a 22 to against Seaver. It's not may not change, but we'll see.
So a 22 to a 7, it changes it to a 28, it
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
So that applies even if you're hit and
Yeah.
running or sacrificing.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Still
I didn't
applies.
know that. So 28 then. 28, sack out at first to second, pitcher to second baseman, sack, same as fielding 3, out at first, pitcher to second. So they're all the same.
Yep, all the same.
Yeah.
So it's a sack 1-4. Yeah.
He got the butt down.
Yeah, so he gets it. Seaver fires no play on Scott, obviously. 19 speed. So I got 19 speed Scott at second, then 2 outs.
Now, do you hold if they're on second? Do you have that option?
No, that's a one thing different from Strat is you don't have any option or there is no holding guys at second, holding guys at third.
Gotcha.
Um
So you're gonna keep him there, or what are you doing?
yeah. Yeah, well, he's pretty much you just kind of roll the dice on that. It just kind
Yeah,
of you see what happens on that play.
you're not gonna make the third out at third.
Oh, you're right about
You're
I'm
trying to
really
steal.
frozen though. Yeah, because he can only go against a tight game or,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not a
that's
tight
right.
game,
It
yeah,
did
so you
that didn't change
yeah.
like it did with Collins back in earlier in the game.
Yeah, it did change, there is a runner on 3rd column there, but it's even, if you look at his C, now only with less than 2 out and behind by 1, tied, or ahead by 1.
See,
So it says,
runner
like,
on
runner may steal
second,
3rd.
only less than 2 out. Now we've got 2 out now, so
Yeah, so you can't do that
yeah,
right
so
there.
he's so that wouldn't matter if I'm holding him or not.
Right, right.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, you got Warren Crow Marty up. He singled and was out running when we were trying to do our
Yeah, he
experimenting
had
about.
that bonehead play.
Yeah,
Concepcion threw him out.
yeah.
Ooh.
64-13, and that's a whiff.
That's the whiff. Seaver got him.
Yeah, Seaver's mowing him down.
Yeah, he's stymieing these Expos.
All right, so that'll be the bottom of the 5th. Now, again, when they are a Q2, that means they don't have any fatigue until the 8th.
Correct. Yeah,
Now, if
no, if
they have
they yep.
if they give up a lot of runs, is there like an exception to that? Like if you give up 6 runs in an inning, something like that?
Yeah, yeah, if it's 5. So if there's 5
5.
earned runs in a 3-inning period,
Okay.
so, they would go down, 5 points. They would go up. Now there's also great advancement in Master Game too, so, um, if they pitch, these grade 13, 12 and 13 guys,
Mhm.
if it's on the base is empty chart. So if these guys pitch 7 innings well, they've already allowed an earned run. So if they allow 7 innings, no earned runs, they go up 5 points.
Actually, I think you guys are shut out right now.
Yeah, are we? Is it 2-0 or 3-0?
It's 3-0, yep.
Ooh, Seaver might get the bump then.
Yep, yep. That's what this is?
Yeah, yeah, we can get to
Okay,
that once we get there, but it's three
okay,
nothing then? Okay,
awesome. Yeah,
okay,
it's 3-0, yep.
okay.
Okay, we got 8, 9, and 1 due up for Cincinnati. So we got Concepcion. So we'll get to our bases empty, which is a good idea to get where you're going first and then roll,
Yeah, yeah,
as opposed to rolling and then, I don't know, it just feels longer that way to me. I don't know
yep,
why.
I agree.
All right, so Concepcion, 43. He gets a 29. That's back to the pitcher, and that looks like that's going to be out across the board.
Yep,
1-3. He hit that solo bomb after Knight's 2-run shot back in the second.
yeah. I'm surprised by the 16 home runs he had.
Yeah. He had a few years with some power. So Tom Seaver, 41. That's a 24. It's a short. So that's ground
Yep,
out to short across the board, 2 away. And then Dave Collins singled and struck out, 21. That was a 2. 21. And that's a fly out to left.
yep, across the board.
All right. Top of the sixth, you got 2, 3, 4 due up. You got Chris Spire. 51 is a 14, so that'll be a
All
walk.
right.
So now you're getting somewhere. The big boys coming up.
Here's where this is optional, but if you ever heard of like the term APBA ball, like playing the
Yeah,
game versus
yeah.
if you notice one thing about Chris Spire, he's a steal N.
Okay,
So that means he never even attempted to steal that year.
right.
Which is hard to believe. I don't think he was that slow, but I guess, I guess he never even tried to steal.
Yeah,
What you can do since a runner on first, if you play um, off the bag, so I think I covered one of my videos. If you play, so he's not going to hold the guy. Say like I'm not even going to hold Spire and just let who's your first baseman,
Dreesen.
Dreesen. So Dreesen play behind the runner. What that's going to do for you, and this is like you playing APA ball, like if you're in a tournament or something,
Hmm.
uh, you're going to actually get you're going to turn that play result 12. If you
Right.
remember that 12 can turn into hits if you're holding the runners. You're going to give Dreesen more range to make that play. And the offset, any benefit I'm going to get by you doing that is like Spire will get that +1 on his chance, going to third base or going to home on a double or something. But that's
Okay.
just because he's not being held. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean
your call.
that's not that's not too much like that because I mean, again, some of your really slow runners,
Yeah.
even in the majors, they'll play behind him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've seen it where the first baseman he'll come and slap his glove behind him a little bit,
Right. Right.
and then go back to the position, when the pitch
Yeah.
goes. So
Right.
I mean, that's not too far deviated from. You could argue whether Chris Spire was fall into that category as that slow or not,
Yeah. And you
but
could probably even say like, well, they got a lead or something, so the outs are more important right now. So
yeah, but
it's
yeah, I mean, obviously, I'll play behind him then.
oh nice. See that's tough now. It's like I'm thinking, oh, I mean, I lost that play result 12 opportunity to get that first and second, so or first and third, first and second.
So you got the hawk up.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll.
Hmm.
All right. 12, 25. That's the catcher. No, I'm sorry. Why does it say? Why does it ask for this catcher when it
What I
looks like it's a 4-6-3 double play?
Yeah, what they do with that one is because the variance in the result is always a 4-6-3 on
Hmm.
the results, but
Hmm.
the variance is going to be on the sacrifice. So you gotta imagine like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you see the fielding three catchers are going to get them, and then
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's why they do that catcher
So if it's
instead of
not a
like second base.
sacrifice, then basically it's gonna be a 4-6-3 double play.
Right, right.
But well, that stinks for all the Expo fans out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's forced. That 25, yeah, the master game, that's always a double play there.
As Kurt Berglund would say, soul crushing.
Inning ending, soul crushing double play.
Not an
He
ending,
cracks
not
me.
an
His
ending
videos are
inning.
awesome, aren't they?
Oh, I
His
love Kurt.
humor is great.
Yep, no,
He
he's great.
he had me laughing. Like I said, my daughter's lacrosse, do my walk and stuff, and he's like he's like, "Do you guys all have 20 minutes for Tony Bennett to sing the national anthem or something?"
Yeah, right.
It was I was like belly laughing at like practice.
Yeah, he's been a couple of times he's cracked me up like that where I'll laugh for 15 minutes about something he says. All right. So you got Tony Perez up with 2 out, nobody on. 32 is 26, but I'm not rolling good for you at all, am I?
We're
That's
home
a
cooking here.
ground out to 4-3. All right, bottom of the 6th. We got 2, 3, 4, and 5 due up here. Ken Griffey is 0 for 2. 42 is a 13, and he strikes out. Joe Morgan with a 15. Well, that's an 11, so now we're getting something
There you
exciting.
go. That's a
So
powerful number. Yeah.
he's a 0. Yeah, that's the stolen base one, isn't it? Now, does that apply in Master Game or not?
No, but it's a powerful hit number though. So you're gonna get a hits
Mm,
off of almost any pitcher, like on a bases empty there.
yeah, 29 and a 30 is the only ones that
Yeah.
will
Yeah, I mean
gate
that's
that.
really high up there, yeah.
All right, so that's a single as he beats out a bunt or an infield hit. So little Joe using his speed gets on.
Yep.
Let's see what his steal rating is here. He is a D32. So if we go to our D, only with 1 or 2 out. We do have 1 out. Behind by 1, tied or ahead by 1, or after 6th inning with any numbers outs when behind. So that 1 behind, tied or ahead, that's the same no matter what inning, apparently, right? On a
Right.
D. Okay.
Yeah. And after 6, it doesn't matter how far ahead they are, you can still go.
I thought I may have read this wrong, but I thought it was saying that after the 6, it didn't matter how many outs, but the score was still the same.
Oh, it's both actually. So it's no matter how many outs and then how far ahead they could be as many runs ahead as they want. So it could be
Okay.
like because like in the first situation, they only like in the first through the 5th inning, they can
Hmm.
only be ahead by 1 run. But like after the 6th inning ahead, they could be ahead by like 10 runs and you could still go.
Gotcha. Well, we're still in the 6,
Yeah.
so you're holding him, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right, so little Joe's on first. That brings up George Foster, who is 0 for 2. We'll see what Big George can do here. This is one of those you don't want to take the bat out of Big George's hands.
Right.
Of course, if I could have stolen, I might have tried. All right. 64, and he strikes
Oh,
out.
come on. Yeah.
Big swing. Infielders felt the
Yeah.
air. All
Remember
right,
we were
Mr.
kids at RG, we're about the same age. That
Mhm.
George Foster 77 season was such a like
Oh
a big
yeah.
season. Remember we were wow, man, he had 50 home runs. Now it's like how many other extra guys done that after that now? But when we were kids, that was a big deal, that
Oh
77
yeah.
season.
Everybody, me and everybody I knew wanted a black bat. Because
Oh yeah.
as he used a black bat. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, yep, we gotta hit like George. We gotta get a bat like his.
Yep.
All right, Johnny Bench up, 2 out. Joe Morgan on first. 15. Oh, here we go. That's an 8. He's a -5 again, and that would make Rogers a 17. And then what did I say he rolled? An 8.
8.
So a 17. Oh man. So that's going to be a 29. And so the pitcher out at first, same as 3, safe at first on a fielder's choice. So either way,
Yeah, that's a 34, isn't that? Is that runner on first, right? 8 on a 17, I think it's 34.
Runner, see, a 17. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at 18.
Yeah, it's right next to it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
34. I'm sorry.
yeah, you gotta
So that is either a pop out or a line out to short.
yep.
All right, we'll
No,
just
it's
say
one thing too. This probably brings up a good point. This is gets a lot of guys, not to say tripped up, but something they kind of forget was if you look at 34, it'll say like Y
oh,
strikeout,
yeah,
but when the pitchers change the result from the pitching change table, you don't apply any strikeout ratings. So you
okay.
go straight by that result.
Well, I didn't
Um,
apply it. I'd like to say that was because I knew that, but
yeah.
it's
Hey.
because it's because I didn't read it.
Yeah, that gets a lot of guys. If you think about it too, because they're trying to use the 34, the real 34 as a strikeout
Right,
modifier, and he really rolled an 8, so an
right.
8 wasn't really supposed to be a strikeout in the first place. So
Now that's really helpful because I didn't know that. So,
yeah,
yeah, if I'd have seen the Y, I would have given him a strikeout. So you're
yeah,
saying that if it's the pitching might have changed table, then you don't use any of the Ys or Zs or
right, right,
anything like that.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
because
so
it
as
kind
a
of throws
result,
off
then
the system, because like
yeah, yeah.
you
No,
know,
because you're, like, double dipping almost
yeah,
because 'cause you're getting more 34s than you are than you would naturally.
yeah, and there are some here and there. You'll see some strikeouts on the pitching change table, like some results. Like years ago, like the original version of the Master Game had like a play result 9. It would turn a lot of strikeouts in there, those pitching change tables. But
Mhm.
this is the
Okay,
new boards.
awesome. Alright. You got, Gary Carter due up here in the top of the 7th, 46, and he strikes out. Man,
Man, how many strikeouts is that for a receiver now?
yeah, I wanna net myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's strikeout number 5.
Okay, I thought it sounded like felt like he had more.
Alright, Valentine, and he gets a 15, and that's a 10. So he's a -3. Seaver's a 14, so that would be a 17. And we rolled, what did I say, a 10?
Yep,
A 17 on a 10 goes to a 31
yep. There you go.
and fly out to center field.
And that was at 10, 10 taking away those hits for the bees. So
Mhm. Yeah, and let's see. Valentine again losing the 3. Did that make a difference? 14.
10 on a 14.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
14.
it did.
14 would have stayed a single. So, yep, if he'd have been better against righties,
Yeah,
he would, or at least neutral against righties, that would have been a hit. So,
yep.
all right, 2 away for Larry Parrish. 24. Man, I'm just really sucking on your dice rolls.
Home cooking rolls.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
All right, 7th inning stretch here in beautiful Riverfront. All right, Danny Dreesen due up for the Reds. He's 0 for 2. 54. That's a 32. And that is a fly out to right across the
Yep.
board. Yeah, that's a very good hint, Thibault, about just double checking to make sure, that it's nothing that you need to know which
Change.
one it
Right.
is. Yep, 'cause that's a big time saver.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of folks, when they first see the master game, they're like, I got to roll every single time. It's like, no, you
Right.
don't have to roll every single time. So,
And you also in pointing out that you don't really need the pitcher to find out these numbers either unless you get up into the hit range.
yeah.
Now, one
Correct.
thing I will have to remember is the 12 and 35.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
because they're not hits, I have to make a note somewhere that, remember to check those 2 numbers up there.
Yeah. Those ones, those two, if you have like low grade pitchers, those are the ones when you're playing a game of, say, like two Ds versus each other.
Mhm.
That's when you really kind of got to have that in the back of your head, that 12 and 35 result.
Yep.
Or even those batters that have like extreme splits. Like you'll see some guys like -10 or +10 or something.
Mhm.
Those extreme guys you want to watch out for because they can knock a pitcher way down.
Alright, Ray Knight 15. That's a 10. He's a -4. Rogers is it'd be a 16, and that will be a 33, which is now again because we pitching table, we're not doing the Y, so that's a
Right.
pop
Right.
out to second.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't nearly as daunting as it seems. When you first pull out that manual in
Yeah.
the instruction, it's like, holy cow,
Yeah.
this is again uh, a little bit like inside pitch. I think the base running,
Yeah.
advancement is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. Like, we could probably even run if now we haven't had any, really sticky, like, bases loaded doubles and things or singles and
Yeah,
making decisions and things, but if we
once
do
we
have
get
that,
through the
yeah,
once we get through the game, if we don't have anything crazy like that, if you want to set up something, we can.
certainly, that'd be awesome, yeah.
Now, so we're in the bottom of the seventh, so the pitching fatigue will start kicking in next inning, correct?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. So we got Concepcion with a 42, 23. Okay, now we need to check that because it looks like 2 and 3 are errors. One
Yeah.
is not.
Yeah, 23 is that error check on the pitcher, so,
So
yeah, you gotta check that one.
Rogers is a 2, 16. So I think he's going to get to it.
Yep.
So pitcher 16, yep, he does the 1. So good play by. Yeah, that's one thing about again, it APBA basics for what it's doing, it's fine, but that, error, no matter who it is or what the
Mhm.
situation, or at least if it's, like team fielding,
Mhm.
but if it's happened to be hit to one of your best fielders, it's still an error. So I
Right.
like this that it's divvied up a little bit. So
Yeah.
because Rogers is a good fielder, he didn't get the error.
Right.
All right, top of the eighth. You got 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, so, now
Do
Seaver's pitched a shutout so far, right? 7
He
innings?
has. Mhm,
So, if you look at that bases empty, that little chart there,
mhm.
he's, between a grade 11, 15 inclusive, so he's gonna get a 5-point jump in his grade now.
Wow.
So he's going up to a base grade of, I say base grade of 19, so base is kinda like what we're gonna when there's any adjustments, well, now we're gonna base it off 19 instead of 14.
Holy
So
cow.
he and, now another thing, I saw this on Delphi, I think just yesterday or YouTube, someone was saying like, "Well, don't pitchers get tired instead of stronger, like, as the game goes on?" I'm thinking the reasoning on this, the grade advancement is it's kinda like the guy had the stuff all along. Like, he had just had good stuff that day, like, across along the whole game.
Right?
So I think that's kinda what they're trying to get at there versus
Yeah.
like, "Hey, he's like why would a guy get stronger at the after pitching 100 pitches," you know? But
Well, especially back in the '60s and '70s, I mean, those guys would get in the groove,
yeah.
kinda like, Warren Spahn and Juan Marichal. How many innings did they do each? Was it 16?
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
did they
great.
were they, like, shut out? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, especially this time frame, I mean, you can see Seaver, he's got the stuff today,
Yep.
you know, and so this is just kind of, manifesting that a little bit more. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
like myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kinda like now it's kind of been revealed that Seaver had his A stuff today,
Right.
it's kind of a
Which he
real
had
deal now.
which, in our thinking, he had it all along.
Yeah, right.
But again, now you're just kind of making sure that it's that way, you
Yep.
know. All right, you got Scott up. So now with his feet, how does the fatigue work? We're in the 8th
Alright,
inning.
yeah, so now with, since he was, he no, Seaver, since he got the bump, he's not subject to fatigue until he gives up a run.
Okay.
So he's still good at a 19, but if he does give up a run the next inning,
Mhm,
he's gonna get his fatigue points off of him, which it's only 1 point. So if Seaver had, say, given up a run,
mhm.
he would just been reduced to a 13, which is still pretty good.
Okay.
But
Now
it's
now
since he
does that
didn't, yeah, he's not subject now because he had that bump.
is that as low as it'll go, or does it get worse more
It
as you
gets
go?
worse. Yeah, so it goes, if you look in the rule book here at the very back, It has a chart for it. It's not on the chart. It's not on the game board. You have to look at the rule book.
Okay.
For the Q2s, he goes 1 point in the 8th and 1 point in the ninth. Then after, if he's still in the game in like the 10th inning, he gets 2 points every inning.
Okay. There it is. I see.
Like Q1s, that's only a 1 and 1. And then the Q0s, which are kind of crazy. I mean, they it's like those
Yeah,
dead ball
I
guys
was
or
gonna say
something.
that's the dead ball dudes.
And the Q4s, they're starting in the 7th inning. They're going down 1, then 2 every inning. So,
So major league pitchers now are Q8.
uh, yeah, they're almost all a Q4. Let's put it that. Actually, that's just something I'm going to look at now, RG. I want to go look at the 2022 set, see if there's any guys that are good. So,
That's it. All right. All right. So Scott, base is empty. Seaver is now what do you say, a 19?
yeah, he's a 19.
That doesn't bode well for the Expos.
Yeah, if you want to think of it, that kind of puts him up into like an A pitcher, like because
Yeah.
it's very similar to basic. Basic, you get that bump of
Yeah.
1 grade. It's the same thing. Now, if you look at 19 on the base is empty, it's almost like he's like an A pitcher now. So,
Right. All right. So we got a 41 for Scott. That's a 28. And a 28 is a ground out to short. All right. You got your pitcher up. You going to pinch hit?
yeah, we're gonna do. So we need some offense here. Let's see who we have. Do I have any limitations on my roster here,
I
RG?
don't. I don't care. And I got Seaver on the mound.
I'm gonna
Bring,
look. I'm
bring,
gonna get some
bring on Babe
monster
Ruth if
cards
you
here.
got him.
Remember, these sets have like, for example, like Bill Gullickson pitched 1 inning in '79. He got a
And we
card.
got Tim Raines here. He's got no at bats in 6 games. I guess all he did was pinch run. He had 2
Yeah,
stolen bases. That's interesting. I didn't notice he didn't no at bats.
and it's like, how did they come up with this card? Too. It's a
Well,
big mystery.
they card everybody. I mean, that's
Yeah,
one of the big selling points to Apple. I mean, that's when I was talking to baseball demos. That's a big negative to Strat is they don't card everybody. So yeah, when you
yeah.
card this guy, they get everybody.
Yeah, like Bill, even the pitchers too. I'm gonna go with Jerry White.
Jerry White. There he is. All right.
Switch hitter. So I got the lefty. So I'm knocking Seaver down on 18. He's a +1 on righties. That's still not. I mean, he's still gonna give me an A.
But still.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
some 11s and 10s there. Those 11s are hard to stop.
you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. That's a 0.
There you go,
So
Jerry.
now we
Oh,
gotta check that
yeah.
he's not changed. So he went to a 19 to an 18, right?
Yep.
No change on the 0.
Okay.
So we will re-roll. Did it again.
Oh,
That's a bomb.
yeah. It's out of here. Off the
1.
bench, Jerry White. Now,
Let me double check. A
one other thing we
1.
got to check here. The pitcher. Does he have any G or H? I don't think he does.
Receiver. Where would they be?
At the top,
By
on top
his
of his
fatigue
card.
rating?
Yeah,
Yep, no, he has neither one. So that's a bomb, right?
that's out of here. Yeah, 3-1.
How about that?
Jerry White off the bench. What a call by
I was
the
gonna say Thibault,
Thibault, the
manager of
manager.
the year.
What a pinch hit call that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So it brings up Crow Marty. It is now 3-1. Now, so he no longer has a shutout. Does he lose that right now?
Next inning. Yeah, next inning he's gonna have
Okay,
it.
so he still
Yeah.
keeps the inning he's
Yeah.
in. It kicks
Yeah.
in the next inning. Okay.
Right.
All right. Warren Crow Marty, 1 out, 1 run in already. Look at that. 8. We'll see if it changes. So he's a -1. So that'll make Seaver a 20.
Yep.
Yep. You're out of luck. Sorry, dude. Looks like
Yep.
a fly out to
30.
left. 30.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm starting to memorize some of these numbers.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I played enough basic. I was starting to get a little bit of a few of them.
Yes, I
So, yeah.
probably play as much Strat as you played APBA.
Mhm.
And I was kind of getting to that point now, even with Strat, where I'm thinking like that 1.5, 1.6 is power. They like to put that power in that one column,
Yeah.
1 plus.
Generally speaking, it starts at 5 quite
Yeah.
often, not always, but
Yeah.
I know that they like to put the ballpark checks a little earlier sometime. Like
Yeah.
it's an out normally, but you got the diamond.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're in a homer park. All right, Chris Spear, 2 out. 63, 31. That's center field, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Fly out to center field.
Nothing doing there.
You got one back. So who you bringing on?
Let's see here. So no limitation. This is like September
Yeah.
baseball, huh? So I'm
Yeah,
just
this is it, man. This is game 7 of the World Series.
leave
This
it
is
all out in the field.
baseball 2023. There are no American National League, so the
Now
Reds and
here's something that you get with the master game that you don't get with the basic game. Which what I'll do is I'm going to look who are the next 3 batters for you.
I have Seaver, Collins, and Griffey.
Okay, so see or so call. So I'm
Yes.
looking at
Collins is a switch hitter, and Griffey's a lefty.
yeah, I'm looking to see who these batters don't like. Like if they don't like lefties or don't like righties, what I'm looking for.
So
So
it
Collins and
looks like the first 3 of the Reds, they all are bad against lefties.
yeah, um,
Seaver is too, as far as that goes.
yeah. So they're lefties. Seaver, yeah, is 2. I'm guessing you'll keep him in. So
Yeah,
when I see that, I'm thinking, all right, I want to get a lefty in here because you're gonna have that clear
right.
left-right advantage.
Let me guess, you bring on the spaceman.
I'm gonna bring it in Rudy May.
Okay,
He's an AX. He's a 15 star X lefty.
nice. So what's the star mean?
Star is he's a reliever. Just he gets his fatigue.
Oh,
He's generally used in a relief situation and like
okay.
never starts.
Okay. So what's the 14 mean then?
14 is when he starts games. So he only
It's the
started
50.
7 games. So when he starts,
Oh,
he's a 14, but when he relieves, he's a 15. It's almost like
gotcha.
Pine Tarish. If you
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Mr. May. Put him in the. This is a great idea, by the way.
oh
It really
yeah,
makes it easy to find those ratings when you need them.
yeah. I see guys writing them down. I'm like, you don't have to do unless you like to, unless you
Yeah.
enjoy that. So I actually do myself sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
but
Sometimes I'm in the mood just to take my time, but
yeah,
other times I want to play the game. So, yeah, this is great.
yeah.
All right. We got Tom Seaver, bases empty.
Rudy
Rudy,
May. Yep.
Rudy May on the mound. Here we go. 56 is a 34. And that's going to be, is he a Y? Oh, he's
No,
next.
he's an X.
Let's pop out to short.
Mhm.
All right. Dave Collins. Uh-oh.
Oh, oh, he doesn't have much power, I'm guessing, though, Collins.
He hit 3. So
He's 0.
May is a 15-0. So 15-0 doesn't change the 0.
Mhm.
62 is a 6. And what did we say he was?
He's a 15. So against Collins, he's an 18.
Okay, there's an M there.
Yeah, and Rudy May doesn't have any M's. He actually has a G, so he doesn't allow the home runs. He's one
So
of those guys that
the M would be up here.
yeah, the M will be up there if he was one of those M pitchers.
So that would have changed that double to a homer.
Yeah, as long as Collins had a 1 on his card, and he does. So, yeah, it would have been
Okay.
if it would have been, fell in that row, he would have been a home run.
All right. Collins with the double. All right. We'll leave him there. Get our runner on second chart. 56 for Griffey. 56 is a 34. Line drive out, runner holds, pop fly, runner holds, high fly, runner holds. So we'll just say he popped out. That's a big out.
Yeah.
All right, that brings up Joe Morgan. Runner on second, 2 out. 26. 32. That doesn't sound good. That's a fly out to right.
Yep.
Different hit values, but obviously it doesn't matter with
Yeah. That would be only if, no outs or 1 outs if we wanna try to advance Collins to
Collins was trying to
3rd.
tag.
Yeah.
All righty. Last inning.
Alright.
That's it. 3, 4, and 5 do up.
Yeah,
against
so now
Seaver.
Seaver,
Yeah.
he's gonna have retroactive fatigue on this.
Okay.
So he keeps his 19, but then you take off those 2 points because he had 1 for the 8th, 1 for the 9th, so he'd be 18 down to a 16 now.
Okay.
Or 19 down to a 17, I'm sorry.
So he keeps the +5.
Yeah, he keeps that. He keeps that. That never goes away,
Okay.
once he earned that.
Okay.
But the fatigue is retroactive though to what
Once
he
he gives
would
up
have.
a
Yeah.
run. Okay.
Yeah, so now he has to lose that point he had needed to lose in the 8th. Now he loses another point for the 9th, so it's 19 minus 2.
So 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
he's a
right.
base 17 right now, if you want to say.
Gotcha. So 3-1, top of the ninth.
Yep.
Got the bats up, man. All right,
Yeah, who
Andre
we got
Wilson.
here? Dawson. Yeah,
Wilson,
hey, that's who
Perez,
we
and
need.
Carter. Yep, you got the big boys. 44. That's an 8. Let's see, he's a -1, so that'll make Seaver a 18.
Yep.
An 18 and an 8. Oh, 31. That's fly out to center, right?
Yep.
So again, not being great. Of course, you said -1 is actually the baseline, right?
Right, right.
So he's just average against lefties.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's kind of like an average for the
Okay.
season.
All right. Tony Perez, 63, 31. Another fly to center.
Yep. Last
I'm
chance saloon for
I'm
the
the worst.
Expos.
I'm the worst Tebow roller ever.
Hey, it's Tom Seaver though, I can't be too upset.
62. Yep, your favorite player here, you
Yeah.
said.
Yep.
26. And a ground out to second.
Easy grounded for Morgan, and that's the ball game.
That's the ball game. So I got through my first master game ever.
There you
All right. So
go.
was there anything you wanted to set up or anything you wanted to touch on? Things
Well,
that we may not, obviously that was a lot of fun, but we didn't get into a lot of craziness either. So,
yeah, I mean, a couple good things. I mean, if we want to touch all the bases, one fun thing is like if you have a runner on third, so um, we'll set up like a situation. Well, you want to put like a fast runner. Who's like your best steal guy on third base?
my fastest steal guy,
Yeah.
looks like Morgan is a D32.
Okay.
Let's say Morgan.
Say Morgan then. Okay, so D32. So let's say we just have Morgan on third,
Okay.
and then that there's no outs or one out.
Okay.
Okay. So in no outs or one outs, you have to call. Do you want to play the infield in or infield back and concede the run?
Right. Right.
Um, s- so if I'm the Expos and Morgan's at third and I play infield in,
Okay.
you actually have another um, choice to make as an offensive coach.
Okay.
What you could say is, I'm going to decide if a ball is if the ball, I'm not Morgan's not going to try to score unless the ball's hit through the infield. So you can actually like hold
Oh,
Morgan at first, which is neat.
yeah. Strat guys would love that because they go, if the infield's in and it's a ground ball B,
Yeah.
according to the game, he's automatically thrown out at home.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't stop
And
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
Strat hates like Strat guys hate that. So
Oh yeah. They've got alternate charts for that and everything.
yeah, yeah, they don't like that. I kind
Yeah.
of go with it, but anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead. So
Yeah.
you have
So
your
in that
choice.
situation, so if a ball is hit to the infield,
Uh-huh.
the runner always holds at third, and then the batter is always out at first.
Right,
Unless it's an error or something.
right.
So if it's any like routine grounder to the infield, the plays instead of going home, because a lot of those infield in plays they're coming home. So what you're saying is I'm not going to throw home. I'm going. It's always going to first because that guy's holding third.
Now I'm assuming
Um,
there's going to be some ground balls that will get through because the infield is in, correct?
yeah, yeah.
There's
So
some
infield's
results that
in. Yeah, you're going to see some play results there. I think.
I
We
know
got a
how to
runner on
look. I know how to
third.
look for that on the basic. Where's it at? Okay.
Yeah, it's on like
D
a play
D
result
D
28 or something, like a infield in
D
two.
is in, D is back and C is in. So
Yes.
yeah, you get different results based on that. Yep, I see it now.
Yeah, see, like, that play result 28, that's like a grounder to short.
Hmm.
So if you were like a fielding 2 play, that's like a single through the infield. So he's
Yep.
obviously still gonna score there even though I was holding him.
Right, because the infield
Um,
was in.
yeah, see, if I would have rolled fielding 3 or fielding 1 for that shortstop, like
Mhm,
then that would have been a 6-3 ground out. And like, see that fielding 1 instead of going home and getting the force out, it would just gone to first, and that runner would have held.
right, yeah. Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's
most baseball games, there's that trade-off that if you have the infield in, there's more, singles gonna happen.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna see some of that.
Okay, so now if I let's say that I decide that I'm gonna go on contact, how does that work?
Well, then you're gonna read the result exactly as it is. So
Okay,
you would still read the infield in. For example, on that go on contact, they got a fielding 1.
mhm,
That's a ground out short to pitch or catcher. So that's a tag at home.
okay. So, like, safe at first on a fielder's choice, runner out at home.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
that means he
okay.
went.
Now, is there options where he will score, like, based on his speed? Is there any of those?
Nothing like that in the it's because these board results don't really if you notice, it's not looking at anybody's speed rating. I mean, there may be
Okay.
one or two, like, may look at some outfield
Now
ratings,
the
but
basic does, right? They'll say, like, if he's a slow runner, he's out at home, that kinda
oh,
thing.
right, right. There are some that's a little bit of a difference in the basic game, yeah. But
Okay.
then you can't hold the guy at third, though.
Yeah,
I guess
you're
you
obviously
can't. I'm trying to think. There is a thing. See, I played so much Master Game. My basic, I'm like rusty on the basic game. So
yeah,
I
fair enough.
think there's a play you can play safe on the runner on third on the for any of these runners. I don't know the exact rules, but I think there
But
is something in the
but I'm
basic game.
assuming that, if you decide to go on contact, there is the chance that you'll make it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, if not, you'd obviously would choose not to go every time.
Yeah, yeah, you could go. Yeah, if you get that field, depending what fielding you get there. So,
Right,
other than that, let's see what we else we got. We haven't done like we did a cutoff play, because Cromartie got cut off
right.
at second, so we saw that. Um, since we didn't get a real like gooey, crazy, you want to set up like a bases loaded, like a double or a single, we can like run through.
Yeah, let's do a double. So let's say
Okay.
we got Collins at third, Griffey at second, Morgan at first, and Foster doubles.
Okay, Griffey at second. I'm laying the card on myself here. So
Okay.
Griffey at second, Morgan at first,
Right. So
and then
let's
Foster at the plate.
yeah, so they walked the first three guys that I had in my lineup, Collins, Griffey, and Morgan all walked, and then
Mhm.
Foster doubles.
Okay. So what we'll do there is we'll say,
So we need our bases loaded chart, right?
yeah, so we'll say he rolled like a 6, or like a 6 is actually gonna turn into a 4 if
I
he's a
said
double
bases
column.
full. That's six is a triple, right?
Yeah, it says on double column card, so Foster, it'll be a 4 for Foster because he's double
Oh,
column.
gotcha.
Oh yeah, we could use that one because that's a 8-6-2 play at the plate for that guy on first with a possible cutoff. Yeah, we could use this one.
Okay.
And we'll run even a more different one. So how many outs do you want to say there are?
It says nobody out.
Okay, that's good. That's gonna be a tougher chance then. So nobody out, bases loaded, 6. So you still want to check that pitcher's grade there. So let's say it's like May still on the mound.
Yeah, no, that would only be changing it from a double to something else. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. That's just
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
because it's really just the home run letters.
yeah, no, let's say that that
Just a
he it,
6.
it's a six. Yeah, he got a
Okay.
six.
All right. So a 6, and it says on double column card, scored, it says number 4. So we would go to the 4, which is double to left center.
Okay.
Okay. So no outs. First number we're looking at, you see how it says 42, then star 57.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Let me get this in the camera so the folks can see. All right, yeah. So you got a 42, and the star is two outs, right?
Right. So we said
Okay.
no outs.
No
So
outs,
42 is our hit value there.
right?
And you look at those positions. So look at the ones in non parentheses. So that's like center field, shortstop, catcher.
Right.
So automatically with a double, the guy on third scores column, and Griffey on second automatically going to score in a double.
Right, because
So
in base advancement, if however many bases the hit is, everybody automatically advances that much.
Right. So the only two runners we have in play now are going to be Morgan and Foster. So
Right?
what you're going to decide then is, do you want to send Morgan home on this double?
Okay.
So what
So
we're
now
going to do,
42,
yeah,
that's kind of as I remember, it goes like from 20 to 70 something roughly.
yeah, right, right,
So a 7, and the lower the better it is for the runner.
right.
Okay.
The lower it is, that means it's not really hit that far. If you see a really high one, that's when it's really hard ball, or maybe it's bouncing around out there or something.
Basically, there's the higher, if you got a 70, then you're probably not going to try to go on something like that typically.
Or you're not going to try to get 70. You're almost always going to be safe on that extra base.
Oh,
If
so
it's
it's the opposite
yeah, so 42 is going to be.
in the
Well,
middle.
we could see. We'll figure it out what it comes out to.
Yeah, so I
So
obviously Morgan's fast, so I want Morgan to try to score.
okay. Well, let's figure out the chance of him scoring then. Like ID was saying in his videos, it's like we're just basically looking for how many chances out of 36 he's
Correct.
gonna have to get there.
Mhm.
So 42, first thing I'm looking at is that center fielder's arm, since he's the first guy on the play. That's Dawson.
Okay, Dawson is his arm is a 34.
Okay, so we take that 34 off of that 42.
That leaves us 8.
All right, then we're gonna add Morgan's speed to that.
His speed is 16.
Yeah, that's
That's
gonna give us how many chance out of 36? That's, what is that,
24.
24?
Mhm.
Now Morgan is gonna get a 1 point bump, um, since it was a bases loaded situation, and he's not a slow runner. So remember, he can't get held when he's a bases loaded.
Right?
So,
He gets a 1 point bonus because he wasn't being held in effect.
right, right.
Okay.
So, he's not a slow runner. So if he was a slow runner, he doesn't get that 1 point bonus.
Okay. Then he's not. He's an F.
So he gets those 24, 25. And you can kind of visualize that because you're thinking, well, bases loaded, they're not holding him at first, so
Yeah,
he's going to
he's
take
going
like a huge lead.
he's gonna be off first a bit.
Yeah, so we got 25 chances now out
25.
of 36.
Okay.
So so if you're going to decide to send Morgan, I'm going to decide to throw him out. Now the next question, you'll see this if you ever buy BBW. It's going to say, do you want to send Foster home to second on the throw home?
I mean to third because he doubled.
Yeah, or actually, he doubled, right. So if you want to send Foster to third, they're going to ask you that.
Now
So,
his speed is a 5.
yeah. So what you'll
So
do
would
is
I
you look
take
at,
that into consideration?
yeah, yes. If you look at that base advancement chart under where the 25 is, let's see what we have to roll to get Morgan safe or not.
Okay, so his chances were 20 or
25 out of
25,
36.
right? Get to that chart. Okay, so the base advancement chart. So we said 25, so that's a 51 on this out of the on the six on the 2 6 dices, right?
Right.
So the 4, that's the follow-up runner on the third column.
Yeah, right. So that's gonna be Foster's. We're gonna use that number, then add Foster's speed to that 4, and that's
Which
gonna be Foster's chance of going to third on the throw.
so his speed is a lowly 5, so that's a 9. So that's 9 out of 36, right?
Yeah, so you see, you could still try to send Foster. You could do both like a bang bang play if you want to. We could probably do that just to see how it would work out.
Now, if I needed the run, I could send Foster to try to bait you into throwing to him to make sure you don't try to throw out Morgan.
Yeah, it depends on the situation there too. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if I'm
what's
trying
important to me.
if I
Yeah.
really want the run, because I know I'll do that in strat a lot, is that if I really want that run, like
Uh-huh.
let's say I've got, Nolan Ryan on the mound and
Mhm.
this would give him a 2-run lead, and it's in the 8th inning. A lot of times I will send the lead runner hoping, the
Oh,
computer
right.
will throw for him and not, because there's, let's say, in strat it's on the 20 die.
Mhm.
It's so it's like 15, and the trail runner, it's like 1 to 1 to 5,
Right, right.
and so that sometimes the computer will go get the sure out, so I for sure get that run. So if you were playing somebody head to head, again, but as it stands, I'm not going to send Foster to third.
Okay. Now just look at the board now. Let's say if you did. What I could also do if I wanted to get that out versus like just letting Morgan score, I could if you look back to look at that bases loaded for, I want to show you what that parentheses means.
Getting there. Base is full.
So remember it
Okay.
went 8-6-2.
Yeah.
You know what we did? We actually didn't even do something right there. It might be slightly different. See how now I can't believe we missed this. So let's go back and redo that again. So
Okay.
we missed one thing here, which I want everybody to know this
Okay.
too. So let's go back. So Foster doubles,
Right.
and so we had Collins at third and Morgan at first. And you got a 42 hit value, and the play is going to go 8-6-2. What we actually have to do, see how the relay is going to go to center fielder, so as it goes like Dawson to Spire to Carter.
Right.
We actually have to get the average of Spire and Dawson's arm there, and it's not just Dawson's arm.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's right.
Yeah, I totally forgot that. So let's see. It's
Yeah.
probably not going to make a difference, but we could just for fun roll it again.
Yeah, I know. So Dawson's arm was 34,
Hmm.
Spires was 36, so their
Yeah,
average
that's
would
a
be
good arm.
35.
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, when you have like numbers like that, you just take the middle number, and that's the
So
average. So
basically that would knock him back down to a 24 then, because we just
yeah,
lost 1.
yeah, exactly. So that the arms of Dawson and Spire are taken into account there. If you think about
Yeah,
it, that makes sense
well,
because
sure.
yeah, because that shortstop's thrown from probably behind second base.
Yeah.
He's
No, I mean,
firing
it's
home. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you're assuming this is probably to the wall, and
yeah,
so, he's very few people, I don't know if any, he's gonna hit the catcher from
right.
the wall, you know, and they're supposed to be hitting the cutoff man anyway, so yeah, no, that's good. So that added 1 took 1 away from
Okay.
Morgan, so that
So let's
makes him
roll for Morgan, see if he scores. So Collins scores,
so let me look at,
Griffey scores.
and see if Morgan does.
Yeah, so Foster's
Gee,
at
so he's
second.
at we said 24, right?
Yeah.
So 24 is 46. So oh, he's out.
Oh, they nailed him.
Nailed him at the plate.
Yeah. So that
So
went
Foster's it.
Dawson to Spire to Carter. Now we do have to check one other roll. Did Carter got to see if he held on to the
That's right.
ball?
That's right. And
So
where's that
show
at
me the
again?
ball.
I forgot. Where's that?
It's like when the umpires are like pointing at the ball, and they're
Sure.
not making the call.
Yep. So drop throw table 26. There is a catcher there.
It's a catcher
Catcher
9. I think he is a
catcher
9,
9.
isn't he?
Let's
Oh, he's
see.
an 8. He's an 8.
He's an 8.
Okay, so no, so he caught the ball. So there's
He
no
caught the
effect
ball.
there. Yeah.
Close.
No,
Yeah, I forgot
yeah, it
about the
catch
drop
yeah,
throw table.
yeah, Carter has been a 9, I'm pretty sure, in some years. So then it
Now
would have
when do these wild throws come in?
that's on steals. So
Just
like
on steals.
yeah, just on steals, which we didn't do too many this game, but
Yeah, we tried, Collins. I decided
yeah.
not to run with him, but we did have an example of that. So is there any, so if there's like a throwing error from the left fielder, it would be in the results where you get errors.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Now on that last play too, let's go back to what I was gonna say is we could have done a cutoff there too. So let's say so you said no, if you would have said I'm gonna be crazy and try to send
So
Foster to
third,
third on that 9 chance out of 36.
right?
I could have said, I'm gonna all right, if you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna let we concede Morgan at that point,
Right.
and then we knock 15 off of that 9. Losing goes 1, so he would only be safe on like an 11.
Yeah. And so
So
this is where this game would shine, head to head.
yeah,
This aspect of it in particular,
yes,
because, that you could have I mean, again, depending on the situation, the game situation, the
right.
score, the inning, a lot of different things can play into that. And it's like, I could see having a lot of fun with that. Again, playing it by myself, like you said, when you did that one replay, you didn't even use the cutoff rule,
Hmm.
so, you know,
Do you want to do one more, or you have time, RG? So I think of it. I'm thinking of like a harder one. We're trying to like kind of max out the hardness, and
yeah,
then
no, if there's something that I mean, I really want this to be pretty all inclusive to
yeah,
folks. If there's something that you think would help people with the game, I'm all for that.
Yeah, so let's do the same situation that base is loaded, but let's just do a single now,
Okay,
because now we're gonna have to deal with the guy going home from second and the guy going from to third from
right,
first.
okay.
And then we're also dealing with trail runners there. So it can be
It
this is almost where you get a lot of rage quits in the master game. And we're gonna like take a go for the gusto here, RG.
alright, so we've got Collins and Griffey and Morgan on 3rd. We still got nobody out, right?
Yeah, so let's put that same guy, the same guys out there. So we got Collins at third, Griffey at second, Morgan at first.
Foster at the plate, and he's
Wait,
singles this time,
yeah, do you want to do someone maybe a little faster just for some so we can kind of have some drama, like maybe like a Concepcion or something at the plate, just to kind of because it might just be Foster's just going to hold. I want to see like some good opportunity
oh, I
to
see. I was gonna
yeah
say the first 3, they're pretty quick, but you're talking about the hitter.
yeah the hitter
Okay, so we got
Concepcion because he
sure.
might be able to take second and stuff, for this
Okay,
play.
yeah, so we got those 3 guys on base and Concepcion's up.
Yeah, so let's say Concepcion gets an 11 single.
Okay,
Okay. All right, so we got the 11 singles, so we know everybody goes one base on the single. So that means
right.
Collins goes to home, he scores. Grippy goes to third, Morgan goes to second, Concepcion is a first.
Now which single did we get?
11.
11, that's right. So
Okay,
that's the right center.
yeah, you notice now we're still going to do no outs then, RG.
Yep, no outs,
Okay, no outs. So you can see now it has two sets of values. It has like a two bracket and then there's a one bracket.
right?
So what that means, the two bracket means that's for the runner on second's chance to take the extra base. And then the one bracket numbers right after that are the runners on first chance of taking the extra base. So that would be like Morgan going to third or Griffey going home.
Okay, so the runner on second going home is the number 2.
Yep.
So basically this number is what base they're on when the play starts, pretty much?
Right. Yeah. The runner on second. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And so the runner on first is Morgan, so his is 50.
So
And
Morgan's is
again,
50
the
and
higher, the more likely you are to advance, correct?
yep.
It gives you more chances, that's right. Okay, I've got it in my head now. Alright,
All
so
right. So let's run
Colin
that through.
scores. Alright, Griffey okay, so Griffey is a 17 or yeah, 17. Morgan's a 16. Concepcion's an 18. So I'm going to say it's early in the game, and we're going to try. So do you do one at a time? Would
Yeah.
you start by saying I want Griffey to go to third or Griffey
Well,
to score? I mean,
what we probably want to do is figure out their chances first, like
okay,
for both of them. We want to figure both their chances because they're going to be decisions I'll have to make to which base runner I want to get.
okay,
So we're going to figure their chances first. So Griffey's, so we take that 53
right.
and we subtract the right fielder's arm. So right fielder's Valentine, I think.
Yep, his arm's 39.
Yeah,
He's
see, that's about as good as you get there.
he's got bazooka.
Yeah, so that gives us 14,
14. Uh huh.
and then we're going to add the
So
add his speed. Griffey's
Griffey
speed is
is a
17.
17, so that'd be what 31.
Yeah, no, this time you almost have to like write these down like when you're
Yeah.
playing on your scoreboard. Like
Yep.
so we have to so we'll say Griffey's a 31 chance out of 36, very high chance. So let's do Morgan's now. So Morgan is 50 minus 39 is 11 plus 16.
Yep.
So
That's
he's just a little bit less, 27 chances.
right. Conceptions would be based on the third column once we off of these 2, right?
Yeah, once we make decisions here. So you're
Okay.
looking at so now what you decide is you're going to decide who you're going to send on the hit first.
Right.
So Concepcion got the hit. So you're going to decide, I'm going to send Griffey, and you can decide both. Now, if you could decide to send both of them, none of them, or one of them.
Now
Obviously,
if
if Griffey stays, he can't go to third. Morgan can't
now
go
if
to
I'm
third.
playing if we're playing head to head, would I say I'm sending Griffey, then you make a decision, then I say I'm sending Morgan, or would it be I'm going to send Griffey and Morgan, then you make a decision?
Yeah, yeah. You say you're sending both of them because I have to make a decision what to do. Because
Off of
I'm Valentine right now. This is where the master game like is different. Is like I'm now Ellis Valentine deciding who am I going to try to nail.
okay.
The manager's not there telling them out in the outfield.
Well, it's early in the
Now,
game. These guys are both quick. I'm gonna send both.
all right. So now, since you decided to send both of them, I'm thinking to myself, like, what are the chances of me getting? So Valentine's looking at the play. So Griffey's 30 chances and Morgan's 27. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to let Griffey score and I'm going to try to nail Morgan going to third, which is what, 27 chances?
Mhm.
Okay.
So then that's when we go to our basement advance and see what Concepcion would be,
Yeah. So we would go 27 chances. So since I said, okay, I'm going to try to get more, I'm going to let Griffey score. I'm going to try to get Morgan to third. So then we go to that number, that line 3 that says 4, and we're going to add in Concepcion's speed,
okay, so what do we say, Morgan was? Twenty.
27.
Okay, so he's a 4, Concepcion speed is an 18, that's 22.
Yep. All right. So if I make this throw, then you could decide then as an offensive manager. So do you want to send Concepcion to second on the throw to get Morgan?
Yeah,
And now,
I do,
okay. Now what I now the decision then I have to make, since you said you're going to try to send Concepcion on the throw, is now I could decide to cut it off and then automatically let Morgan get third. Then I can make a play on Concepcion.
now when you cut it off, that takes numbers off of Concepcion, right?
Yeah, so that's gonna take, no, you can go back to look at the 11 on those parentheses on that, so if you look at their, um, so you go back and see that 1 since, Morgan was the guy on first,
Right,
and then you see those parentheses where it says right field to third base.
right,
So it says like 6-4. It says like
right,
shortstop, second base.
right,
So that's what the cutoff play is. So those numbers and those positions in the parentheses is what the cutoff play would be scored as.
okay.
So on this one, so let's cut off that 15 off of his 22. Uh, so that's 7 chances. So I'm going to say I'm going to concede Morgan third base. Now I'm going to try to get Concepcion,
So
and
that's
he's,
7 chances?
yeah, 7 chances. So you have to roll that 21 or less to be safe. And I've already conceded. Now Morgan's already a third.
Hey, he made it.
Ah, it's a.
It slid under the tag.
Oh, that was a close play. It's one of those ones where they're tagging them and they're like juking them out or something.
Yeah, I had to go to the replay on that one.
Oh, and the crowd goes wild in that one. The crowd
Yeah,
loves that.
yeah, that worked out great. So we got, 2 runs in, runners on second and third, still nobody out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good position to be in.
Yeah, early in the game, so that's what I'm looking for,
Yeah. So uh,
aggressive, paid
we
off.
had, yeah, there was a lot of good runners in that situation. Look at all the 16, 17s, and
Yeah,
we had a good arm too. You had good arms, good
good
runners, and
arm.
everything.
Yep. No, so yeah, so again, for most of us played this solitaire, so,
Yeah.
they could decide like you did on that one replay and not, do the
Do anyhow.
let's see, let me get you back in here. There you are.
I was relaxing a little bit.
Yeah,
But
um,
yeah,
so I enjoyed that very, very much.
yeah, it was
So,
a lot of fun.
yeah, again, it's not nearly as daunting as it seems. Again, once you
Right.
sit down, especially with somebody who knows how to play, it's not bad at all. And I felt like I was actually getting, pretty good, um, you know, pretty good at figuring it out. I felt like I remembered a lot from the first time we played.
Right. Yeah, you were getting good there. I know you were knowing
Yeah.
a lot of the results right out of the gate.
Yep. I was remembering most things.
Yeah.
So is there
I
anything else that you can
I
think of that we should talk about? I mean, that,
it's got injury tables, of course, which I think is a basic game.
mhm.
Um, one fun thing I noticed too, we don't have any like the about this. This is actually a pretty fun thing. I'm gonna see if I can get like if I have any on my team, any really high like A or B Steelers, like so like the Kenny Lofton, Tim Raines, Ricky Henderson type guys.
Now, is it
Because they're
fair to say that the higher the letter, the less restrictions there are going to be? Is that fair? Is that
right.
okay?
Yeah, A's can go pretty much any time. So I'm trying to
So
see
the
if I have any.
lower the number, the less likely they're going to be able to, or the lower the letter.
Yeah. Well, I think we got a good one. Let's go with Morgan. I'm looking for a C, like a guy, a C with. Oh, here we go. Andre Dawson. He's a C30
Okay.
stealer. So he stole 35 bases and 639 at bats.
I didn't remember him being that quick.
Yeah, he's young, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Still, 6 or 7. He's like 25 years old, you know. So, um, one fun thing with these when you get the really fast guys, like the high stealing guys, like guys over 30, 40, 50 stolen base in a year,
Mhm.
when they get on third base, they can disrupt the pitcher a little bit because they could possibly steal home. So if you look in this situation, if you look at the C where it says on the steal allowance chart, it says runner on third may steal home.
Right.
So only with two out and behind by one and tied or ahead by one. So that could be any inning, first, second, third, fourth. Let's say it's the first inning
Mhm.
and you have it's two outs, say. And then let's say that situation you always hear about, like what if the batter is like a 200 hitter, and what are my chances of stealing home? Like I have a good chance of stealing home because his batter's
Right.
so bad. So
Right.
um it says only with two out behind by one. So let's say I do want to try to send off, or I want to possibly steal home.
Okay.
What you could do decide to prevent that has a defense, has the pitcher is, and this is, I've not seen this in any other game, is they can state that the pitcher is going to pitch from the stretch instead of the windup,
Okay.
which is really wild, I think, because if you think about the stretch, they're doing that quick move right to
Right.
home, real fast, and
Yeah.
whereas a windup, they're doing like everything, and
Yeah.
um, so if they decide to pitch from the stretch, they're going to nullify that chance for Dawson to steal home, so he can't steal home.
Now, does that work for a runner on second as well, or just the?
Just the steal home.
Okay.
Now the offset there, like everything, all these games have like symmetry. They
Mhm.
offset. There's something to offset it.
Yeah.
That pitcher's grade, since he's kind of getting disrupted by that guy at third, and he has to pitch from the stretch, his grade's going to drop 2 points versus the batter.
Okay.
Because obviously you think he's not really focusing much on the batter because that fast guy's at third base,
Mhm.
and he's going to lose 2 points on the steal attempt, or he's going to lose 2 points on the
Because he's
on
going
his
from the
grade.
stretch. Yeah, because typically you can get more oomph when you're going from the windup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if he does go from the line, I'm saying, I don't care. Let's let Dawson steal home, in that case. So let's say he just pitches, from the windup. Then you go to the chances, and I think it's minus 15. So then you would just take that 15 off of Dawson's 30. And so you have 15 chance out of 30 to steal home there, which it's almost like 50-50.
15 out of 30 or out of 36, you mean?
15 out of 36, right?
Yeah, so 33, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a decent chance.
Yeah, that is. No, it does limit it to the situation there too. So it has to be like a close game with
Yeah,
two outs.
yeah, so you're not stealing, 10
Yeah,
times a year, stealing
right.
home
So
10 times a year.
yeah, so if you do have those fast guys at third and you are in that situation, you do have to make that extra decision. Like you gonna pitch from the stretch or the windup. So in the back of my head, I'm doing a '93 American League replay right now, and I'm thinking
Mhm.
Kenny Lofton is he's always putting the pitchers for the playing the Indians in that situation because he gets on third. And I'm like, oh, he might steal home here, and that's true. Those guys, those speed
Yeah.
demons.
Yeah, did you ever see that video of, when Jackie Robinson stole home? You see
Yeah,
how he's bouncing off a third?
yeah,
And, I mean, he
yeah,
did that a lot when he didn't steal home. So, I mean, and back and, when he came into the league, there wasn't a lot of that going on. So
right,
he was doing a lot of that disrupting. So that's kind of cool that that's kind of factored into the game because,
yeah,
especially there, but even now, like you said, you get Ricky Henderson on third, that's pitchers are thinking about that.
right.
You
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not every guy. It's only those really high steal guys like the
Right.
ABCs. So like you could see most of them are it's a very like it's a very low chance they're going to try to do that. But it's
Mhm.
something to think about, because obviously you're knocking 15 off. So if it's like his success is like 15 already, he's going to have one chance. It's so you
Right.
obviously a lot of guys aren't going to steal home.
Yeah. No, but
Um,
that's cool that they factor in that, because he's going from the stretch. that's a
Yeah.
little bit like stealing third, whether you have a
Yeah.
lefty or righty batter, this those
Right.
again, that's where I feel like the game has a lot of detail,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
just includes things like that that a lot of the other games just really don't.
Right. Right.
That's really cool.
And the only challenge I have with that rule is that play is like when you're playing solo, it's hard to decide like is he going to pitch from the stretch or the windup? It's
Mm.
like I have to make that decision,
Yeah.
which is going to affect the situation. So what I do is I do an even odd roll. I just do a 1d6. Even he's from the stretch, odd he's a windup or something. And
Yeah, I'm getting more practice at managing against myself.
yeah,
That could be a whole topic all to itself. But
yeah,
I try to make the best decisions I think that both of them would make, and I just go with it. But there are times that I will roll a decider die, so to speak.
right,
If
right,
it's just something where I can't make up my mind what he would do, they would do here. Then
yeah.
I'll just roll it. 1, 2, 3. He does it. 4, 5, 6. He doesn't.
He doesn't, right. And they are memorable when you do it. I mean, you remember that role. I remember like 6 years ago, I remember I was Tommy Henzo from the Indians.
Mhm.
I said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna try it." And I rolled a die. Okay, he's pitching from the windup, so now I know Henzo can go. So I'm gonna roll it. And he got it. And I was like, "Oh," I put on Delphi and everything.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, Tommy
Well,
Henzo stole home."
stealing
So
home's a big deal. That don't happen a whole lot these
no,
days
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So
All
that was
right.
a lot of fun, RG. I
Yeah,
think we covered everything. I mean, we covered
awesome.
soup to nuts here.
Yeah, I think between the 2 videos, that'll give everybody, I know it did me, and that was my
Yeah,
main purpose for doing it, but hopefully everybody else can kind of learn, watch some, sit down with the master
yeah, yeah,
and learn how to play the master game.
yeah. Just I want to say soup to nuts, just because I'm not that completionist. There's one other. This is we probably don't even have to do this, but sometimes you'll make that third out at a base at the same time a runner scores.
Okay?
They have some situations in there. You probably think, well, what does the runner score there or not? On the directions they have, like there's a dice roll you do. Like depends on how many you roll like a one die. If it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, the run counts or something. So
Oh, almost like a decider die then.
yeah, it's like a decide or die if what they're gonna do. So
Yeah.
that's something that
Again,
could come up.
something else that, shows some detail.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And any comments, feel free to chime in and we'll try to get any answers if anybody has any. Again, we motivated ID to play some, so that's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's others again because it's not, my big takeaway is it's not nearly as daunting as it seems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, the base running, that takes a little bit of thinking, but other than that, once you get the flow of it, it's not nearly as bad and daunting as you think it is looking from the
Right.
outside. So,
Exactly. So
all right. Well,
all
thank you
right,
very much.
RG. All
Yep.
right. Take it easy. Have a
Yep.
good day.
You too.
See ya.